Well, let's talk about his running mate this year, a player who I felt like had a really, really good 2023 when a lot of the defense struggled. Nick Cross played really well, I felt like last year, Derek. I thought he had a pretty good breakout year and kind of the year when he finally had a full-time starting position. And it feels like that strong safety position is a lot better fit for him, and kind of some of his skill set. We know he's big, athletic type of guy. What were your thoughts there on Nick Cross in 2024 and kind of what he did as he kind of broke out? And honestly felt like he had a career year, but it really felt like he grew as a player last year.
Well, I mean, it felt like Nick Cross's coming out party. It was for the longest time. I mean, I can't even really say the longest time because, he got drafted in 2023 or 2022. I'm sorry. So it's not like it's been insanely long, but we've been waiting ever since Nick Cross got drafted. We thought that this guy could potentially step into the role right away. And for the first 2 years, Cody, I mean, he didn't. He didn't. He had a lot of growing up to do. He had a lot of learning to do, and it just didn't work out for him right away. And, you had Rodney Thomas come in ahead of him, and he did really good. And then in 2023, still just wasn't all the way there. And so they brought in somebody else there. And then obviously in 2024, you didn't really have a choice. You didn't have anybody else. Everybody else was getting injured. So Nick Cross had to step in and do what was necessary. And, Nick Cross came in, got 87 tackles, had 3 interceptions, 5 pass deflections, had a forced fumble as well. Nick Cross can make a few occasional big plays and obviously almost had 90 tackles this last year. So, actually did in total have 146 if you want to count solo and assists. So, I mean, ultimately, this is a guy that he finally showed up for the big moment, and it worked out really well for us. Not saying that he's at anywhere close to an all-pro level right now, but definitely is far from the 20-year-old safety out of Maryland when we drafted him, right? He finally looks like the game is not too fast for him anymore. And that's great because now Nick Cross being there next to Cameron Bynum, very interested to see what Lou Anarumo does with Nick Cross because, again, Nick Cross has shown you he can run up the field and, make those big tackles in the box, or he can be the ball hawking safety in the back. It just all depends on what you want to do with him. But yeah, very excited to see how Nick Cross does with his second year of full on being the starter and how he takes over.
Yeah, and Nick Cross was a really good run defender last year. We know how bad the Colts struggled against the run at times, but Nick Cross was so darn consistent.